Alright my dudes, so we have some very interesting info today, and it's about the very high possibility that Geralt of Rivia will be one of the guest characters in the upcoming Soul Calibur 6. Now normally we wouldn't cover something like a fighting game, but this is a whole different ballgame. We're talking about Geralt of Rivia being in a fighting game. You guys already know I love any opportunity I get to make a Witcher-related video, and it just so happens that even though I'm not super into fighting games, Soul Calibur actually is my favorite fighting game series. Now, I have not been playing this series since the beginning, since like Soul Edge or whatever, but I think I started with either Soul Calibur 2 or 3, and Soul Calibur is one of those game series that has had guest characters for a long time. They've had it since at least Soul Calibur 2. And I remember picking up Soul Calibur 2 back in the day because of the guest characters. I wasn't even really, like I said, I think Soul Calibur 2 might have been where I started, but the guest character was Heihachi on PlayStation 2, which is a platform I was on back then. And I loved playing the Tekken series at a younger age, so I was like, damn, I gotta get this game. If you picked it up on Xbox, you actually got Spawn, which I was super, super jealous of. And then if you picked it up on GameCube, you got Link. So their guest characters have always been very interesting. Fast forward a bit to Soul Calibur 3, and the guest character was Cosmos from the Xenosaga series, which is actually an RPG series I loved playing at a younger age as well. Soul Calibur 4's guest characters were Star Wars characters. If you had Xbox, you got Yoda, PlayStation, you got Darth Vader, and between both platforms, you had Starkiller from the Force Unleashed series. And then eventually they became, Yoda and Darth Vader became DLCs for the opposing platforms. And then finally, Soul Calibur 5 had Ezio Auditore from the Assassin's Creed series. So as you can see, their guest character lineup is pretty damn good. It's kind of crazy, the characters they're able to get into the fighting games. Sometimes the guest characters make sense, like Link or Heihachi or something like that, and then they don't make sense when you got characters like Cosmos from Xenosaga or Spawn, but that's what's so good and interesting about their guest characters. Because I'm not somebody who plays a lot of fighting games, the character lineup and the guest characters are generally what sell the game to me. So, like, for instance, Soul Calibur 4, I literally bought it because Starkiller was in it, and I was super into the Force Unleashed series at the time. So here we are in 2018 with Soul Calibur 6 and the very high possibility that Geralt of Rivia will be a guest character in the series. We have a bit of information to look at that it kind of supports this idea. First up, we have this tweet from Marcin Momot, I don't know how to say that, who's a community lead at CD Projekt Red, obviously the developers of the Witcher series, that says, what if Geralt was going to step out of the Witcher game for the very first time to make an appearance in one of the upcoming games later this year? Now, obviously, that is a very vague statement because it just says any game. Like, it could be any game, but obviously, some sort of fighting-based game makes the most sense. You're not going to see Geralt of Rivia guest star in a racing game, for instance. Unless that game does have horse racing. Another game series that I just thought of as I'm recording this that he could guest star in some form or fashion, the Monster Hunter series. That literally just makes sense. We also have this post on a Reset forum that says, I didn't want to add a rumor section to the original post, but for the sake of discussion currently on the table, there is 22 characters, 6 DLC, and more. 39 characters, and Geralt of Rivia. Now, normally one little post on a forum somewhere about rumors wouldn't be the biggest deal ever, but this was actually posted in Reset Era a week before Marcin tweeted out about Geralt of Rivia being a guest character on something. We also have this quote from Let's Play Video Games about the rumor that says, a few weeks ago, anonymous sources contacted Let's Play Video Games with this information. However, while we have vetted the sources to be legitimate, acquiring the further evidence required for publication proved difficult until today, that is. So we have this random post on a forum that says Geralt of Rivia is going to be a guest character in Soul Calibur 6. And this happened a week before somebody who actually works at CD Projekt Red tweeted out about Geralt being a guest character in a video game. We then have Let's Play Video Games posting about the fact that weeks ago they had this information, but they just couldn't 100% confirm it. Their sources were reputable, but they felt like they needed a little more information before they could publish this, and they feel like they got that with the tweet that Marcin sent out. We also have this information from Let's Play Video Games that points out Bandai Namco and CD Projekt Red have a working relationship as Namco helped distribute The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt in Western Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. So with all of this information we've gathered, it just seems like 99.9% certain that Geralt of Rivia will be in Soul Calibur 6. He legitimately looks like a character that would belong to the Soul Calibur series. Pretty much every character in Soul Calibur uses a weapon of some sort, and he has an arsenal of weapons. He's a very popular character. The Witcher series itself is very popular. It's going to sell more copies of Soul Calibur 6. It'll draw in more eyes to the games for people that have maybe never even played Soul Calibur. Like me personally, I didn't really have that much interest in Tekken 7, but they introduced Noctis in it from Final Fantasy 15, and I kind of want to get the game. Odds are pretty likely that if he is in the game, he'll be a guest character across all platforms simply because The Witcher 3 was on like every platform. What remains to be seen is if there are other guest characters, are there going to be console exclusives? Because that will be very, very interesting. I'm not even sure what we'd really do. Maximilian Dude, who is a fighting game dedicated channel, talked about for PlayStation the potential of maybe the Bloodborne Hunter from Bloodborne, and for like maybe Xbox we get something like a character from Killer Instinct or something. So as always, let me know your thoughts below. What do you think some console exclusive guest characters would be, especially from the PlayStation side of things, because I'm not a PlayStation player, so I can't even really think of what a good like console exclusive character would be in Soul Calibur 6. And also, if Geralt of Rivia is in Soul Calibur 6, will this sell the game to you? If you weren't even considering buying the game, are you considering buying it now? Because I probably will. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on my notifications, follow me on Twitter at TheDashingDavid. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a child. Give me serenity.